All right, let's get this show on the road. Is this thing on? Test, 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 test. We're looking for the stream is being received, so we should get audio anytime soon. So, hello, this is Dave. This is What's Up Dave. This is my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet. And I am trying to remember what I was going to talk about. Double checking I got audio. Audio is good. So, let's see. Today is Tuesday, December 19th. Christmas is coming around soon. My sister will be here this Friday. The house is relatively clean, which means I don't have to do a whole lot, except maybe clean the guest room. But it's not going to be as much of a production as it has been in the past. Maybe get the TV back mounted on the wall would be good. Today is the main thing I got accomplished today was taking the cat to the vet. And cat's numbers look good. For a 15-year-old cat, he seems pretty healthy. His blood sugar is good. He's a diabetic cat. So, so far, everything is holding up with him. Let's take a look at him. This is what he looks like. So, what I wanted to talk about today was yesterday's ranty depression talk. I was talking about 3 modes of depression that I was facing. And in a way, it was a loss of faith of just that anything was worth doing. The first mode of depression was the feeling that nothing had any ultimate meaning. You know, your typical existentialist angst. Nothing means anything. I don't know what my role is in all this. Nothing seems to matter. The second depression was that it seems that like what I was feeling disconnected from humanity and other people. That like there was nothing that like I was doing that anyone else was really connecting with. That people, if they even seemed interested in what I was doing, it was really only for self-interest, and it really didn't matter, like in the grand scheme of things. Then the third form of depression was just not being comfortable within my own sense of self. You know, I've been going through this non-binary realization search thing, trying to figure out, okay, so what is this gender dysphoria stuff? So I've been trying to like categorize that. So the upshot of it was that the universe itself was not providing any answers or comfort. Neither were other people, and then neither was myself. So that kind of ruled out everything. And I was like, well, what's left? What's the point of all of this stuff? And it put me into this kind of funk. But I happened to be listening to NPR the other day, and I was listening to the show All Things Considered, which is a human interest show, and one of their longtime journalists, Robert Siegel, was talking to Aldi Cornish, another one of the journalists there on the show. And they were just talking about accents. So like Robert Siegel's parents are immigrants, or his grandparents were immigrants, and they lived in New York City, and his dad had to lose his New York accent to be able to be accepted as a professor at some New York university of some kind, because apparently the one thing that this New York University didn't want was professors who sounded like they were from New York. And so, you know, and NPR reporters are known for having that kind of neutral voice, like any kind of broadcast reporter. And so he was relating this to Aldi Cornish, who apparently her parents are from Jamaica, and so she doesn't have a Jamaican accent either. So anyway, Robert Siegel's like super interested in accents. And I guess origin things, and they're talking about this thing, and they were kind of having like a friendly conversation as colleagues on the same program. And Aldi said something about like, you know, that Robert, I guess, is semi-retired now, and he's no longer active producing the show, but Aldi is. And they just had a pleasant exchange about like, you know, keeping in touch and so forth. And then, you know, Robert Siegel says like, yeah, you got it, and he said it in the way like, you know, that was a tinge of long-standing familiarity and even affection, you know, for the colleague. And so I was listening to this, like, against the backdrop of all these 3 modes of depression that I've been thinking about, and it occurred to me that, you know, one, like, it was like really cool that these people had worked to create a radio show, a radio program, you know, that touched on all the different aspects of humanity that they found interesting, personally interesting. The accents of their parents, like the origin of interesting things, the way things connect together. And then secondly, that they had I guess chosen to be colleagues in a way. And it occurred to me that maybe the way out of this depression stuff, the thing that makes it all worthwhile, is not merely just the small, interesting things that happen every day, although that's part of it. That's part of the delight of being alive, the unexpected stuff. But it's actually choosing to connect. I think that's maybe something I can hold on to as a form of faith, like choosing to connect with people, even though I don't think any of this makes any difference, that everybody has their own self-interest at heart and no one is reliable. Choosing to connect is maybe the bravest thing that I can do. For me, anyway, like choosing to connect in the face of this disbelief that the universe has any meaning or connection to me, I think is the belief that I have to hold on to, because I do know that it makes a difference to other people. It may not be a lasting difference. It may not be a forever, infinite. It makes the whole universe turn around on its head, but it's enough to maybe advance it a little bit at a time. And I think that's very much compatible with the way that I tend to see the world anyway, as an emergent set of events and characteristics that affect me and affect other people when I choose to act. One of the founding principles of my productivity philosophy is that you make something and you show it to somebody, and only then is change possible. And for me, change is something that very much is interesting because it's usually not boring. I like to see change. I like to see things that are new. And so choosing to connect rather than curling up into this ball and thinking that the world doesn't want anything to do with me is the counter, I think, to this depression, because this is something I think I can believe in. So that was the main insight of today. So I'm feeling actually much better. So I can still accept that the world is largely a cold and heartless place, but there are moments of connection and there are moments of these sparks of inspiration that happen, and I can be part of that if I choose to be. And in the face of this cold, harsh universe, surrounded by assholes who care not but for what serves their self-interest. And I know, of course, everyone isn't like that. But at the same time, I find it hard to believe that any of this is permanent. But in the face of this impermanence of things, I can choose to connect with people anyway. And that's my act of defiance against the existentialist crisis. So that was an important insight. So thank you, Robert Siegel and Aldi Cornish, for having that little conversation on the radio at the right time as I was driving. I don't even remember where. I was doing all my errands yesterday. So actually, this is a good point to check and see where I left off on my chores. I can get this keyboard out of the way. Switch to camera 2. And so if I look at yesterday to see what I got done. See, I think I have a cold. I'm getting a cold. Let's see, I need to move this camera back a little bit. Move it forward a little bit like that. And adjust this camera. Alright, so here is my emergent task planner from yesterday. It's almost noon now. And yesterday, when I was doing my What's Up Dave around, it looks like 1:15 yesterday, after having my therapy session, which was very good, this is when I was outlining all those 3 modes of depression. I'm feeling pretty bad. And bad but disconnected. So not entirely bad. Sort of a non-emotional sort of bad, more of a blahness, an existential blahness. But I decided that I would not push myself very hard. So I only picked 15 minutes of chores to do, which turned into actually a pretty significant chunk of time. I did schedule my car inspection, which is tomorrow. That's one big thing off. I did write out a number of medical bills, which I can't actually use my online bill paying system because they have ridiculously long names and the checks won't address to them properly. Another irritating thing. What else did I do? It looks like I actually did quite a few things. I got 4 major things off of my list. Oh, I did go to the police station to get my CCL renewed, so that's in the pipe. And then I had a chat with my cousin about upcoming work, which I guess I have billable work. As much of it that I want to take between now and March. So that's kind of a relief, and it's kind of sucky because there was all these other things I wanted to do. But I'm only going to take things one day at a time, I think. So like those big projects, like the ones on this thing, all these things on this blue pad are big projects. I think, learning to do things 15 minutes at a time and just seeing where they go is maybe the right attitude to have toward these projects, as opposed to thinking that I need to have them all scheduled down and know exactly how long they're going to take. So I feel like I'm leveling up being able to accept the uncertainty of creative projects. Partly it's not giving a shit about what people think about this anymore. Partly it's recognizing that I can't predict it, so why fight, why try to? And so long as I'm making a chunk of time every day, that's maybe as much as anyone can expect. And then I also had that big insight, like choosing to connect, because it is the daring and right thing to do. I think I can really get behind that. And then yesterday I finished also watching an anime called Gurren Lagann, which is from a set of playwrights, some story writers and animation directors in Japan who have produced some of the more interesting anime recently that I've seen. And it ended up being really good. It had a pretty incredible sense of scale, starting from very small beginnings and then literally universes battling each other at the end of its 27 episode run. Surprisingly good. I didn't expect it would be good. I thought it'd be like a whole bunch of stupid tropes and mean nothing, but it hooked me for the entirety of it. Some good twists in it as well. But anyway, I'm going to continue to plan today. Let's see. Today's Tuesday, right? And it's the December 19th. One thing I want to do today, if I'm going to spend 15 minutes on anything, is the ETP journal for 2018. I just suppressed this feeling of anxiety about all the other things I need to update, but you know what? If things are late, they're late. And it probably won't take too long to get through all these things. So this is going to be my main task for the day. I'm not going to like bundle up and try to fill my day with like 8 or 10 hours of production time. This will take either 2 hours or 4 hours, and then I'll be done for the day, and it'll be exhausting enough. The rest of the time I will do happy bubble time type things and do things to pique my curiosity and be not bored, I think, by things. So there's some things I can play with, certainly then. So this is my main task today. At 10 o'clock, let me just fill in the side here. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 10 o'clock I had the cat vet appointment. And that was about 30 minutes. And it's right 12. I started this at noon. And then this was kind of like eating. One thing I need to do now is I need to go and get a prescription refilled for my various medicines. And I'm also going to pick up some something to eat while I'm out doing that. So prescription. I also wanted to set up a watch on Kayak to look for fares, just to have that going. Check off a bunch of things here. That's done. taxes I'll do later. How-to video, that might be something. Try, did pay that. New glasses, is that something I should do? I'm getting to the point when I can probably rewrite this, these cards things to distill them down. Let's do that. Let me get some new, more post-it notes. Looks like I need to buy a few, or I could swear that it has more of these someplace. Let's see. So this is just my reminder tickler file. So I'm going to write down, this is the how-to video. Estimated taxes. Prop tax. I should put on stickers. Registration stickers. I need to wrap presents. Okay. Oh, and new glasses. I might want to go and actually get, there's like this blue nail polish that I want to get that might match this sweater better. This doesn't really work. Maybe I'll do that later. Alright, so I've simplified this thing now. And the comments is not switching. So I think I'm about done for the day. Next thing to do is this. So what I'm going to do now is head on over to the supermarket, drop my prescription in there, and maybe then afterwards I'll go and like see if I can get that nail polish. That would be fun. Although then I had to take this stuff off, and I don't really want to like. I kind of like don't like this stuff that you use to remove this stuff, the acetone, or even the acetone-free stuff. I think that stuff must be poisonous. It can't be good for you. But I don't know. I'm in this really interesting. I have this desire to match colors with everything recently, so I'm kind of OCD about it at the moment. Yeah, so we'll see. If I get that, they'll give me something for show and tell tomorrow. I also still need to build some of those toys that I got. In fact, like over there on the other side of that bookshelf that I built recently, the one I got from IKEA. It's full of stuff there that's ripe for show and tell. Let's see if I can like point down at that. Actually, I can just bring this whole thing up. Let's take a review of stuff that's in that shelf before I sign off. A few minutes. Let's move this over. Let's take a switch over here. Doot. Let's just keep falling. We can get closer to this, I think. I need to figure out a better way of like spooling these wire cables, because this is terrible. I'm doing this wrong, I think. Alright, what do we got in here? Let me tilt this over so I can see what we're looking at. That mobile cart really is coming in handy, I would say. I guess I had to open these. This is now firmly mounted to the wall, so it's not going to fall over and kill me. That's very exciting. And I can raise this thing up, I think. Whoop. So what do we have on shelf number 1? We have a bunch of candles, and we have a bunch of magazine things. This Nerd magazine box is for the Culture magazine on geek stuff that I wanted to do. This is empty. These I need to work through and just like clean out, I think. It's a cleanup chore. So then if we go down another level, this actually is kind of fun. I don't know why the camera's blowing out. So what do we have in here? Those are the glow sticks. Bunch of media. What's this have in it? Oh, this is pencils and pens. I should label this. Maybe for Happy Bubble Time I'll do some labeling and things. It doesn't look like this has a label. Let's put Post-it pad on it. Then over here, this is full of, oh, this is internet stuff. That's worth looking into. Then one shelf down from there, as we have some books. This is just sort of like an overflow media section. Let me just combine all the media together. And then if we go down even more, which we might start having some problems, this is all video camera equipment stuff. This is a box full of film. This is a cover for. This is speaker grill cloth. I was going to make a speaker grill for a Besta unit or Bets back there, but that'll have to wait until I'm done. And then further down, this is what I wanted to look at. Not this. I wanted to take this out of the box and see how cool that is. And there's also an Acro Nendoroid. And then below there is just like miscellaneous storage stuff. What is that? It's like some sort of hammer. So like, this is kind of an overflow storage area. And actually, I just had a thought, which is to move some other stuff into here. So right now, up on top of those shelves, behind the Christmas tree, there are these project shoe boxes. If you've seen some of the earlier streams or read in my blog, you may know that I have a shoebox filing system where I keep projects in it. So this one looks like, what is this box? This is the fountain pen and fine stationery supplies project box. I wonder if this will fit in here. Yeah, it'll fit. And then this other project box. This one is the Vocal Project mixer and mic box. I should try using this Omni. So this is where all the rest of my audio gear is. Some out-of-date gear. Will this fit too? This might be too big. Oh, it just barely fits. Excellent. So it looks like each shelf can take 4 of these. So this shelf could become a staging area for active projects. And the storage downstairs is where I keep all of those things that can come back up here. So I've just stuck them over in the shelf over there. You can see the white things right about here. So I think that's it for today. I'm going to head out and get my prescriptions filled out. Let's see what maybe I need a haircut or something. I don't know. Being bald is weird. I could just wear this hat though. I'm not sure if this is a hat for me. If I was looking at other hats, this is a derby / bowler hat. Apparently this style of hat in ye olden days was considered a working class hat, not a formal hat. I guess originally it was designed as one, but it became more associated with, I guess, keeping stuff. It's a hard shelled hat. The other hats that I was looking at that were, there's a Homburg hat, which apparently is a very, very formal hat. Then there's Fedora, which is a more informal hat. The Trilby, which is a hat I don't like. What other hats are there? There's not a whole lot of them. Top hats. Caps. I don't think I'm a cap person. Maybe I should just try a few hats on and see how they work. But this has been kind of fun to wear out. People seem to like it when they see it because I guess you don't see people wearing hats all the time. And it's a good practice, I think, just for learning to, maybe this goes toward choose to connect again. By wearing something like this, I'm choosing to say something that creates a connection. So there's more to this choosing to connect thing than I realize. So I had to think about that for today as I get out there. All right, so that's today's What's Up, Dave. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. I'm feeling much better than I did yesterday. I'm feeling productive, and I also feel that I have something I can believe in again, which is choosing to connect in the face of a world that is uncaring and chooses not to. By me choosing to connect, maybe I'm making some kind of difference. So, with that, signing off. All right, boink. Oh, look how fat I am. Ugh. Oh, that was quick.